Right, today I want to share something from My NASA Data. If you haven't been to this website, you should go check it out. It has tons of stuff. If you haven't been there recently, you should go look at it. They've done some reorganizing, but they have lesson plans and activities, and then just tons of data sets that you can use. The thing that I want to share today are their data literacy cubes. So these will be great. I know there's a lot of teachers right now kind of reviewing and using some data analysis with their students. And it also might be something that you just kind of put on the back burner and pull out in the fall when you come back next year to start working with your students. And as they come back and they might be a little rustier, maybe they haven't done a lot of data analysis, this is a great tool to use. So you can see that the idea is that you make these cubes that students roll. The way it's set up, I personally wouldn't take the time to make cubes. I just give all my students a die, and then I would use this resource. So we're going to look at the PDF that has everything. So the cubes are set up to help students analyze data from a map, from a graph, or just from a data set. So you can pull out the questions that match the data that your students will be analyzing. And then for each one of those, they have it scaffolded. So they have a set for beginner that they call beginner. So this might be for younger students or for more at the beginning of the year when your students are a little rusty, or maybe they haven't had a lot of experience analyzing data. And then as you move through the year, you might get to where you have students using the more advanced pieces. And then they also have a really highly scaffolded version that you could use with your ESL students. So we'll just look at the first one. So this is the map cube. And again, if it was me, I wouldn't actually take the time to make cubes, but you definitely could. But you can see, for example, anytime a student rolls a number 1, they're just going to be examining the map. Right? So that's one thing that you need to be able to do. And so these are the questions that you would be giving students. So these are the beginner questions. So for this one, if they roll a 1 and they're examining the map, then they have their choice between question A or B. And this is the other thing besides being really scaffolded. So I can give students maybe a different question set, right? Even students in the same group, because number 1 is always examine the map. I could have students with different sets of questions depending on what they need. But then students also have a choice. So I can either answer A or I can answer B. And so this is the beginner version. And so you can see it's pretty highly scaffolded. It tells them exactly what to look for. And then the intermediate version has questions that are a little bit less scaffolded. And then the advanced version, you can see, has all the questions are open-ended questions. And then the last version is the one for English language learners. And you can see that both the language and the type of answers that students are giving is more highly scaffolded for those students. And so this is repeated for all of the 3 different cubes. So there's also one for graphs, same thing. So this is the beginner version. So if your students are looking at a graph, they could roll the dice and then choose the question that they're going to answer. So that's kind of how this is set up. And then the other thing that they've done that is really nice is they actually have all of these questions in a form already set up. So if you wanted to steal that, or you wanted to just pull the questions from the PDF, you can pull the PDF just for the cube that you want. So there's a lot of different ways that you could use these with student groups or individual, different times of the year. So hopefully this is a helpful tool now as some of you are reviewing data analysis with your students, or maybe to start off in the fall.